This is your AP Government video on how elections change over time. Now, there are certain eras in which particular types of voters consistently turn out to vote and vote for specific types of candidates, and that can obviously change over time. But for the most part, people are pretty consistent about what types of policies and parties that they like, unless something major has happened. So, for example, most elections are what we refer to as maintaining elections, meaning there's the same type of trends. Certain voters vote for certain candidates, other voters vote for different people, and that's pretty consistent over time in both federal and state elections. So, a maintaining election is one in which we saw the same types of trends of voter turnout, fundraising, and elected officials winning. From time to time, we get a deviating election, which is one that is slightly different from the ones around them. And that's temporary. It's kind of a one-off change, and then people go back to the maintaining election cycle. So maybe we'll see a deviating election where voter turnout was significantly higher in one election, and then after that, people go back to the same amount of voter turnout. Or where fundraising was particularly high, or where certain types of candidates win in a landslide and then nobody votes for those types of candidates in the future. The realigning, or what's referred to as a critical election, are ones that change for the foreseeable future. And these are typically highlighted by major historical events. The Great Depression being one. That Great Depression changed the way that people saw parties, and they changed the way that people thought what government should do to help people. And so that created long-term change on who voted in national elections for Democrats and Republicans for a significant period of time afterwards. We see a lot of those, 1860, of course, Abraham Lincoln, and there's lots of questions about more modern times. So in 2008, Obama was obviously the first Black candidate to run for office, and he won in 2008. He also shattered a whole bunch of fundraising records that year. So the thought was maybe we're going to usher in a whole different type of voter or electorate, new people turning out to vote, new people donating to candidates for the first time. And then, of course, Donald Trump's election in 2016 was also unique and different. And so people are kind of waiting to see if either of those elections, are they just deviating ones, or are they realigning elections for the future? Of course, whoever the presidential candidate is can affect midterm elections, which happen every 2 years between the presidential races. Typically, the party that's in power in the presidency loses seats in Congress. Presidents, once they win office, are their most popular during the first 6 months of their term. And typically after that, presidents start to see their popularity decline, which is why a lot of presidents want to try to pass big legislation at the beginning, because it'll get harder and harder, and more people will become critical of that president as their time goes on. So by the time we get to the 2-year midterm cycle, typically people are getting a little frustrated with the party that's in the presidency, and that causes their own party to lose seats in the midterm and possibly to lose the majority in either the House or Senate if they have it.